Hello, I'm Steve Shaw, National Coordinator of Football Officials and Secretary Rules Editor for the NCAA. And today we're continuing our series of media videos for 2024, and we're going to be focused on game action from Week 5. Now, before we get into our video, I wanted to report out on our instant replay statistics so far this year. In FBS, we're averaging 2.08 stops per game, and that's slightly up over last year. But we're averaging 1 overturn per game, and that's been amazingly consistent over the past few years. And our total time per stop is averaging 1 minute and 51 seconds. That's down from last year. That's good. We want to keep the game moving, but we still get the occasional long stop, and we're working to eliminate those. So with that, let's get on into our video. Our first play this week, we have a punt from the plus 47. Now the ball bounces right at the goal line, and the kicking team is going to bat the ball back from the end zone into the field of play. A receiver picks up the ball and takes off running. He's going to run out to the 24-yard line, and we have a flag down on the play. And as we go back and take a look at the close-up on the return, we see that there's a face mask foul by the kicking team on the runner. So what are the rules pertaining to this play? First, we see that the punt lands in the field of play, so it stays a live ball. Now, if this ball had landed in the end zone untouched by the receivers, it would be dead immediately and a touchback. But since it landed in the field of play, it's still live. We see the kicking team player, number 17, he's going to bat the ball out of the end zone back into the field of play, and two things happen there. This is considered illegal touching by the kicking team because they have touched a punt before it has touched the receiving team. And we see the back judge, he's going to drop his beanbag in the end zone, signifying that spot. And this illegal touching, it's a violation that gives the receivers the option of taking the ball at this illegal touching spot after the down. And since this illegal touching spot is in the end zone, it would be a touchback and go out to the 20. But the ball is still live, so number 28 picks up the ball and he starts to advance. And this is a low-risk move because if he's tackled short of the 20 or he fumbles and loses the ball, his team has the option to take the ball at the illegal touching spot, which would be the touchback in the 20. But he got it out to the 24, so a positive play, and the face mask penalty will be added 15 yards to the end of the run, so the receiving team will take over 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. This is a heads-up play, and you can tell the receiver has been coached well. Play 2, we see the quarterback, he fakes, and then he's going to run a down-the-line option. And the ball is out in front of the pitch man, and as 15 tries to recover the ball, he's just going to bat it out of bounds. Now we're going to get a flag down for illegally batting the ball, which is a 10-yard penalty that includes a loss of down. Now, by rule, it is a foul for batting if the ball is batted forward in the field of play or in any direction in the end zone. And this is a judgment call that's made on the field, and it's not reviewable by replay. This is a very tight play, but to be a foul, we want the batting to be clearly forward, and this batting seems lateral at best, and this is not what we want as a foul. Play 3, we see the quarterback, he takes the snap, rolls left, he's going to avoid pressure, and then throws downfield. The ball's going to be caught by the receiver, who makes a move, continues downfield, and is out of bounds down at the 31-yard line. And there's a flag down for a face mask foul on the defense. Now, as we take a look at the replay, and we see after the catch, the receiver's going to step out of bounds between the 42 and 43-yard line. And as the play action continues, we can verify there was a face mask foul. Now, replay is going to come in on this, and they're going to put the player out of bounds. And that means now the face mask foul actually occurred after the ball was declared dead by replay. So what happens with the enforcement on these type of fouls that occur in the action after the replay overturn? By rule, personal fouls and unsportsmanlike conduct fouls are enforced. So this personal foul face mask penalty will now be enforced 15 yards from the spot where the play was declared dead by replay, and that's what we did. But if we had a 5 or 10-yard penalty that occurred after replay declared the ball dead, those penalties are not enforced. So if it was a holding or a block in the back, for example, in that continuing action, then that penalty would not be enforced. It would be ignored. Play 4, it's late in the second quarter. The offense has 4th and 5, and they're going to line up to attempt a field goal. Now, the kick is going to be blocked. There's a scramble for the ball, but since the ball is behind the line and it never crossed the neutral zone, it will be the defense's ball regardless of who recovers. Now, there's a flag down on the play, and as we go back and take a look at the replay, we see that during live ball action, number 27, he's going to come off the bench and out onto the field of play. And by rule, no player may enter the field of play while the ball is alive. And we also know you can't play with 12 on the field. So this is a substitution foul against the defense. And the penalty for this foul is 5 yards from the previous spot. And since it was 4th and 5, the penalty gives the offense a 1st and 10. Play 5, we have a punting situation. The kicker sends the ball toward the near side boundary. Number 1 comes over. The ball's going to bounce between his legs, and then ultimately number 2 of the receiving team tries to recover, touches the ball, and then the kicking team is going to recover. And as we go back and take a look to see if number 1 touched the ball, it appears from our views that number 1 did not touch the kick. But because number 2 of the receiving team did touch the kick first, that makes all players eligible to recover, and the kicking team does recover, and they get to keep the ball. Now, one interesting point of note here, if the ball would have touched number 1's towel hanging down, then that player would have been deemed to have touched the ball. So if you're wearing it, then it is a part of you in determining touching of the ball. And that would include dangling mouthpieces, long belts, or any other attachments on the uniform. Our last play is another punt play. The receiver fields the ball, he starts upfield, and there's a big hit, but there are no flags on the play. Now, replay is going to stop the game to evaluate this hit for targeting. And there are really 2 kicking team players involved in the contact. And as replay evaluates the hits, we look at the contact by number 9. It's a hard hit, but as we go back and take a look at the end zone angle, this is great technique. He has his head to the side. He leads with the shoulder, wraps up, stays below the head. So excellent technique here. And as we look at the hit by number 31, now, the return man is a runner. He's not defenseless, so the only type targeting we can have is a crown of the helmet hit here. And as we see 31, he lowers his head, leads with his head. I don't like the posture or technique, but as we see, replay must confirm all aspects for it to be targeting. And the contact is not with the crown of the helmet. Remember, the crown is the 6-inch radius from the top of the helmet, but this contact is with the side of the helmet. So there's no targeting on this play. Well, that's it for our plays this week. We hope these have been helpful, and we thank you for your time invested in this video and the comments that you provide. Best of luck to all this weekend.